Injuries, experienced enough to know, not a doctor obviously, and he knows his own body. Does he fear the worst, do you think? Do you fear the worst?
I wouldn't say fear the worst, it's just we all saw the nature of the injury. It doesn't look I can't say it looks positive, but again, until we get the scan, it's difficult to say.
And mentally, how is he coping? I'm sure you've spoken to him, having come back from previous really bad injury.
Yeah, I mean, he's okay, but I suppose until you get the diagnosis, and then at the moment we're just hopeful and fingers crossed, and then from there we see how to get him back fit and strong. And it's disappointing, of course.
And his teammates around him, having seen this happen, do you think there's any fear of other players who are looking forward to the World Cup thinking twice before they put in the kind of effort that he put in on Wednesday night?
Well, I don't think it's fear. I just think it's part of the challenge. That's how it is. I mean, it's very difficult to play, Premier League football or Champions League football and go at it half-hearted. That's pretty much impossible. And then at the same time, there's a World Cup a couple of weeks away. So it's a tricky position for everybody.
Just while we're on injuries, is there any update from Dubai at all?
No updates.
So a big game, if selected, for EmerickAubameyang.
Yeah, it's a big game. It's a it's a London derby. It's two good teams, I think. Arsenal are doing really well. Obviously, the history makes it an interesting one for Oba, but the past is the past as far as we're concerned. We're just looking forward to the game and trying to play well.
But he's the sort of character who likes to make a statement, likes to shine on a big occasion, and I guess they don't come much bigger for him. Is that something you can tune into as part of the team talk, or even to him directly?
No, I don't think we should make it about him. I think it's about the team. He's an important part of the team. For us to get the result we want, it takes everybody, not just one person. But I understand the headlines or the interest is around him because it's Arsenal and there's a narrative around that. That's fine. Nothing we can do about that. It's just to say, as a team, as a group, we have to play well ourselves.
Last one, Gary.
Do you sense he feels he's got something to prove?
No, I don't think so. I think he's looking forward to the game, excited for it. He's been pretty normal, I would say, from what I've seen. He's quite a quiet guy, but I'm sure he'll come match day. He'll be determined.
Thanks, Gary. Alice, PLP.
Thank you. Hi, Graham.
Hi.
As you say, a big game to come this weekend against Arsenal. After your last league outing, you said that you felt that your players failed to match the intensity of Brighton at times. With that in mind, given you're coming up against the league leaders, how important is matching or even bettering Arsenal's intensity going to be for a positive result at Stamford Bridge on Sunday?
Very. I think if you don't do that in any game, it's a challenge for us. It was I would say a unique situation the weekend, and now we have to learn from that and be ready for, like I said, a London derby. It's a special game. It's an exciting game. We have to be ready to play the football that can get us a result.
Yeah, we've been hearing plenty of talk about fairly congested fixture lists leading up to the World Cup. You yourselves played on Wednesday night, Arsenal in Europa League action on Thursday night. Given that, how beneficial is that extra 24 hours of preparation time and recovery time, I guess, going to be for your players leading into Sunday?
Yeah, the fact that we've all been playing so much, it's almost like rearranging the deck chairs on the Titanic to a certain extent. It's not that. I don't think it's that big a deal, but it's helpful in a way. It's an extra 24 hours. We take what we can at this part of the season. So I don't think it has any impact on anything. We're all used to the quick turnaround. We're all used to short space in between games. But any time you have to use it well.
You've lost only one of your 11 games since joining the club, but I know you said recently the fact that you're only 90 minutes away from a crisis, given the calibre and the size of a club in Chelsea. Perspective, of course, key, but would the flip side be that you're only 90 minutes away from reminding people, if they need reminding, of your top four credentials and even title hopes?
Well, it's the glass is half full or half empty, and the job, we know the noise. We're disappointed in the weekend because we didn't play well and we lost the game. So then it's all about the response. It's all about doing better. The boys have done that really well. Good performance against Zagreb, trained well. So we have to we have to take that into Arsenal. It's as I said before, tough game, but an exciting game.
Yeah, very exciting. You currently sit 3 points off Newcastle in 4. You play them, of course, next weekend. You're on a game before the World Cup. How key will entering the winter break be in the top 4 if you can be?
Well, that's what we'll try to do. Absolutely. I mean, as you said, we've got a big week, 2 big games in the league, and then a cup match in between. So a massive week for us, exciting week. So we have to just focus on the next one. To be honest, with the greatest respect to Newcastle, we just focus on Arsenal. Don't think about anything else. Just focus on that game. Try our best to win. You need to compete. You need to do everything that you can to win the football match. But that's what we'll try to do.
Last one, Alice, please.
Yeah, finally from me then. You're almost 2 months into your role here at Chelsea. How do you assess the job you've done so far and how things are going?
How would I assess? Well, objectively, it's been 7 wins, 3 draws and a defeat. A lot of games in a very short space of time. So actual training time very limited. Getting to know the players all the time. Really happy with the response in terms of how the group's been. Understanding them more and more. Performance-wise, we can do more and we can improve, and that's exciting. But at the same time, when you understand the mess of the fixtures and the injuries that you have along the way and all the challenges that it all brings, we've done okay, but room to improve, I would say.
All the best for Sunday.
Thank you.
Andy, BBC.
Graham, Arsenal had the disappointment at the end of last season, missing out on the Champions League. What have you made of what Mikel's done to push them on to get them off to such a great start, leading the league?
Well, they've recruited well, I think, in the summer. Zinchenko and Jesus, two good players that know what it's like to win. So they've recruited well, and they've also carried on their idea. I think it's a really good example of how success can come. He's had to face some pressure, I think, from the outside. The club has stayed supportive and they've stuck with their ideas. The younger players have got more game time, so become more experienced. And as I've said before, generally the coaching process gets better the more you're working. So a combination of hard work, I'm pretty sure, from their perspective, sticking with their ideas, support from around, and good recruitment.
Chelsea have had a strong record against Arsenal, particularly at home, over the last 10 years or so. I mean, do you feel any pressure to keep that going from the fans and the club?
Well, I think recently it hasn't gone so well, unless I'm mistaken. So we have to do better there. That's for sure. It's as I said before, London derby. Anything can happen in the game. It's that type of occasion. But we want to be positive. We want to play well. We want to be on the front foot. We want to get the crowd involved in the game because they're our 12th player. I think it's important for us. And
Raheem Sterling's played virtually every game for you. What have you made of how he's settled for Chelsea and how he's performed for you? Yeah,
I think it's been a difficult time for everybody, if we're being honest, because there's been change and there's been disruption in that regard. So it isn't easy to hit absolute top form. As I said, loads of games, few injuries to key players, so the team is a bit having to recalibrate itself. But in the end, he's been a part of what we've tried to do here, and he's been part of the results that we've had. And like us all, we can improve. But again, I don't like to zoom into individuals at this stage because I think it's more of a collective challenge for us, and that's something that I'm responsible for.
Last one, Andy.
And do players get over a result like the Brighton one pretty quickly, or do you tend to need a match to get that out of the system? I know you had the one in the midweek, but for the players that didn't play, has it been something in training this week that you've seen a reaction from them, the sort of pain that they felt from that?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, it was a defeat we didn't like and didn't enjoy, and it'd be strange if we did. So they've responded well. Their performance against Zagreb, I think, was a solid one and a professional one, and had intensity, had enthusiasm. and everybody's trained well. Everybody's been responsible, as I've said all along. That's the impression I have of the group. Really honest and responsible group. So we're looking forward to the game. Looking forward to taking a little bit more pain away.
Okay, last two in this section, Dom and then Adam to finish. Dom.
Yeah, sorry, it's a bit general this question, but by the time you kick off on Sunday, Manchester City could well be back top of the Premier League. I just wonder what you need to do as a club to bridge the gap between Chelsea and Manchester City as the dominant force of the last 4 or 5 years.
Well, I would say it's lots of things in terms of aligning resources in a better way, I would say. So how we recruit, how we develop the football idea. We need probably some time in that regard, because of the changes that we've been through, and it's been over a period of time as well. So probably a little bit of stability, a little bit of clever recruitment to add to what we have, to help the team, to help the group that we have, and then continuing to work on the football idea, I would say, is the main 2 areas.
Okay, last question, Adam.
Hi.
Can we just get the other team news? How's Kepa, Cobham, Carney, are these guys likely to be involved on Sunday? And just on Kepa, is there a time frame for his injury? Is he going to play before the World Cup?
Kepa, no. So it's his plantar fascia, which is the bottom of his foot. So no, I don't think he'll play before the World Cup. Kovacic trained today, so he'll be in contention. And Carney, no, he still has a slight issue with his hamstring that we're getting to the bottom of.
Okay, that's the end of the